So today's story, we're going to France. Has anyone been there? Of course, Lauren has been everywhere. Who wants to go to France or Paris? Anyone? Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to start by telling you about the last time I was there. We we're going to France specifically because on July 14th, that is their Independence Day, like our July 4th, okay? And July 14th is also my mom's birthday. So about 2 years ago, she turned 75, and that was like the signature birthday. And we said, Mom, you gotta go. So my mom and I went over to Europe and ended up in Paris on July 14th to celebrate her birthday. I'll tell you, it was a gorgeous, gorgeous day. And Independence Day in Paris, it's just, there's such a spirited culture. They had parades, and that night, like around 11 or midnight, they had fireworks going up around the Eiffel Tower. And I mean, all day was just, it was just awesome. So that, the Eiffel Tower, let me go back about 20 years prior to this trip. In 1997, I was in Paris, and as we were getting closer and closer to the year 2000, our world was kind of freaking out because they thought it was going to be the end of times and all computers were going to crash and all this other crazy stuff, okay? And it was because they thought, well, the computers don't know how to convert from like the 90s to the 000, okay? It was this big deal. And so up on the Eiffel Tower, it was like every day it was a countdown until the year 2000 hit. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at it and I'm kind of laughing because I'm thinking, well, people either look at that as like something really exciting, or they look at it and think, oh my gosh, that's how many days I have left, right? So I'll tell you, okay, so that was July 14th. The next day, a couple of years back again, was July 15th. And that day was the final day of the World Cup. How many of you guys are into soccer and the World Cup and all that stuff? Anyone? Okay, it's one of those things that is really, really big in the rest of the world. Americans, not as much, but I'm telling you, they are die-hard fans. So the final game, France versus Croatia. So as you can imagine, here the French were, they must have had like the craziest weekend of their lives between Independence Day and this game. They were running around the cities. They had French flags hanging off their backs as if they were capes. They had horns. They were yelling and screaming. You'd see one group of people running up to another group of people, riding mopeds through the city, just like hooting and hollering. It was just so exciting. So that night I had to get onto a plane, and I'm sitting there in the terminal, and they had brought a random TV in just on a cart like this, set it up in the terminal. They put the game on, and everybody in the terminal, while we were waiting for our plane, was just gathered around watching it. And it was just so neat because everybody was cheering and everybody was together. It was just such a like symbol of unity. So the game ended while we were in flight from Paris to Iceland. And I think Croatia ended up winning that year. But like I said, I was on the plane at the time, so I never really got to see the end of the game, and I don't really remember. But another thing you guys need to do if you ever go to Paris is go to the Louvre. It's one of the most famous museums in the world. Lauren, when you were there, did you see the Mona Lisa? I did. And what was your reaction to it?
Crazy.
It was beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. And how big is it? Small.
Well, there's a lot there.
Yeah.
With it, but it's like, it's kind of a picture frame that you would see hanging up in like your house.
Totally. Yeah.
And then like glass around it and like.
Yeah. So you guys, when you see the Mona Lisa, if you guys remember, I think it's been a lot of cartoons even, but famous painting of this woman with the long brown hair. And when you walk into the Louvre is huge. It's impossible to get through the whole thing in a day if you really take your time. My friends and I got to the point where we were running through it just to like kind of glance at the other things. But Mona Lisa, it's small. It's only about this big. And going into it, I thought it was going to be a big painting. But they have the Mona Lisa up on the wall. And then they have like this protective glass in front of it to protect it from fading or anything else that could happen. And then they even have part of it roped off with a security guard. Like that's how important this painting is to the French. So they're very serious about their art. So if you ever go there, it is a really good place to go if you like art and that kind of stuff. Okay. Any questions?